So I fasted today. Like really fasted, just water. And I was gone for a while. And so when I came home at night, I had some lemon juice and cayenne, liquid cayenne, and a tiny bit of maple syrup to mimic that. Whatever that thing is. Mostly I just water. I had that one drink and then I had water. So that Laurel YANNY thing, do any of you have the inside scoop on that? Because I clearly hear YANNY, but not only do I clearly hear YANNY, I can't fathom anybody hearing Laurel. So what's the deal with that? How could we possibly... Is hearing that subjective? I'm blown away by the fact there are people hearing Laurel. There must be some trick that... Because I hear YANNY, but not, like I said, not only do I hear YANNY, I can't fathom hearing Laurel, and I'm assuming the Laurel people feel the same way. That is so bizarre. Someone came up with that, and they're comparing it to that dress thing before, what's the color of the dress. But I thought maybe the dress thing just had to do with different people's computers or something. But this Laurel YANNY thing, that's weird. It kind of freaks me out, because is hearing really that subjective? Unreal. Unreal. I've already told you the bus drivers around here, certain ones think time is subjective. They think they're not under any obligation to follow the schedule, and they just leave stops whenever they feel like it. They leave ahead of the scheduled time of departure. And we're not just talking 1 or 2 minutes. Some of them do 5 minutes or more. I found an ally in a woman who's been complaining like I've complained. And she even got stranded somewhere. She said the bus never showed up. But what's really bizarre is then you talk to management. We don't know of any problems that took place that day. Uh-huh. That's a lie. Unreal, huh? It confounds me. And I was actually talking to a bus driver, and he totally agreed with me. The words came out of his mouth before I could say anything, because he doesn't do that. He makes sure, he looks at his cell phone, he makes sure he never departs from any stop ahead of the scheduled time of departure, not even 1 minute. And I said, I wish all bus drivers were like you. I think it's confounded. I'm confounded by these bus drivers who just think that nothing of it leaving, departing from scheduled stops ahead of the scheduled time of departure. They think nothing of it. They don't care. They don't care who they potentially fuck over. And again, 1 or 2 minutes might be forgiven, but when you start going above 5 minutes, what the fuck? That's so wrong. So I started keeping track of it. Not because you're not going to complain unless it affects you, but you could still start keeping track of how often and who departs from these stops ahead of schedule. I'm going to keep track of it for my own benefit. Plus, I could share with my ally, this woman I met who's 100% on my side, and she's experienced the same shit. And I said, yeah, and people won't complain, And she's like, yeah, because when elderly people, my mom would rather pull out all her hair than complain about anything. She'll complain to me, And this woman was saying the same thing. She's like, I see why you're protective of your mom. My mom would be the same way. She's not going to complain directly to management of the bus company. She'll complain to you and see if you do something about whatever is the subject of her complaint, you know? I don't get it. Obviously they don't care. It's very sad. They don't care. Again, I'm not talking 1 or 2 minutes. I'm talking sometimes 5 or more. They'll arrive at a set scheduled stop, and instead of sitting there and wait, if they arrive early, instead of sitting there and waiting, they'll just leave. They'll leave. Unreal, huh? And they're potentially fucking over anybody else. You go, because if you arrive at one scheduled stop and you leave it early, you're going to arrive more than likely at a whole bunch of stops early, you know? I'm not used to this shit. In California, I'd wonder why we were sitting on the side of the road, and it was because the bus driver knew he or she was ahead of schedule and did not wish to potentially fuck anybody over. Okay? These are big city bus drivers. Apparently, small city bus drivers don't give a fuck. A lot of them. They don't care if they fuck you over. They'll leave ahead of schedule. If they arrive ahead of schedule, they'll leave. It's unbelievable to me. It's mind-blowing to me. Okay? And it's also mind-blowing to me that anybody hears Laurel rather than YANNY, you know? I hear YANNY clear as day. I haven't looked online. Do they have any like, who came up with this? Is this some kind of secret test? And if so, you know, maybe evil power bees or whatever, they're trying to determine who hears YANNY and who hears Laurel. But, you know, separate us, divide us into Laurels and YANNYs. I would like to know what that's all about, though I haven't looked it up. I would like to know. I would also like to know why bus drivers think that they just think nothing of departing scheduled stops ahead of schedule. Oh, and my ally had problems with that bus driver who's gone now, I told you. And she said his name before I did, so she had similar types of problems with him. She agreed with me that he's a motherfucking asshole. So nice to be able to talk to somebody like that. I can tell my mom shit, but she just, you know, she's just gonna listen and be like, whatever. But this woman, as passionate as I am about this, it's so wonderful. We actually got off the bus and spent a long time talking. It was okay as long as I wasn't eaten by mosquitoes. Which I didn't feel like it was. Not many bites. So. And I didn't see any flying around her. So, I don't know. Guy on the news somewhere in Massachusetts, he went through a walk in the woods and within like a short amount of time had 26 ticks on him instantly. And he said that's the newscaster saying that's an indication we're going to have a really bad tick season because yeah, this guy's going through grass, but he said he normally wouldn't have 26 ticks on him that fast. He's used to doing that. And the news is like, these people are walking, including that guy with the 26 ticks, without long pants or anything. They wear shorts. And there were women going through. They're like, oh, we're all right as long as we don't go in the woods. We're just on this path. Well, around here, Omar and I didn't go to the woods, and I came home with a tick on me. I didn't strip down naked and search my whole body, so who knows if there could be a tick on me right now, I don't know it. They feast on you and you don't realize because they have something that makes you not, that causes you to not feel them, you know. Mosquitoes do the same thing. When they bite you, they inject something into your bloodstream that makes you not feel them. here in Massachusetts, we're like the technology giants, I guess, because of MIT. I don't know. My news is always talking about the latest thing. They're going to actually have them on the market, but I'm sure they're too expensive for the average person. I don't know who's going to buy them, but they're robot dogs. Jimmy Kimmel had them on last night. They're kind of scary looking to me. Jimmy Kimmel was joking. My God, even the Jetsons had a real dog, not a robot dog. A robot housekeeper, but not a robot dog. They had a real dog. Crazy, huh? That Laurel YANNY thing is very disconcerting. But I haven't studied it, so I don't know who came up with it. Obviously, they're trying to, whoever did is proving that hearing is subjective. I'd like to know if they came up with who you are, if you, compared to, like, if you choose the Laurel YANNY. You're not choosing it, it's what you hear, you know. Oh, God. Oh, I don't know. I have to go to bed. Yeah, I want to know what the deal is with that Laurel YANNY thing. Someone designed that, and if they did, there's some reason that some of us are absolutely 100% positive. You know, all we hear is YANNY, and I guess the Laurel people is the same thing. It's really weird. Maybe there are people who aren't sure. I'm not one of those people. I distinctly heard YANNY. There's no question in my mind that it's YANNY. I don't understand. Don't understand. Well, on 5/15 I was 194.2. I don't think I'll be down that much tomorrow when I weigh myself. I didn't weigh myself this morning before fasting. What's today? 17th? So I don't even know if I started at 194.2. Love. Yeah. I don't get that. I do not get it. Just like I do not get, especially in this day and age where people are on edge, as we know, and we're hearing all about, you know, about these instances of road rage and whatnot, and even people being killed in road rage, like that recent ex-Marine, the young guy. Okay, why in God's name on a flight are you going to put your hands, grab a fellow passenger because you know, eavesdropped, like I said, you put in quotations, you eavesdrop on his private text conversation, and you know that he wrote a horrible text that hurt the woman next to him, but again, she was eavesdropping on his private text. It's a private text. You know, it's not like he's saying anything to the woman or putting his you know, accosting her in any way. She views you as a hero because you came forward, but he can't do that. Do you understand? If I got mad at the airline personnel and the ship personnel on separate occasions who didn't like the passengers filming things going on that weren't good, you know, what they were upset about, and give me your cell phone right now. These are employees of the airline and the ship. Give me your cell phones. And they said, you delete that footage right now, or they said stop filming and give me your cell phone, and they deleted any footage the person had already taken, okay? They can't do that. And of course, after the fact, it's easy for the airline and the ship, oh yeah, we don't condone that, you can film if you want, but it's too late, they already, your employees all did that to them. Well, they can't do that. Well, you can't put your hands and grab a fellow passenger simply because he texted something about the woman sitting next to him. Texted something derogatory about the woman sitting next to him. It's a personal text. You can't put your hands on him and order him to go to another seat. Again, I can feel that way without condoning what the jerk did, but key word is jerk. He's a fucking jerk. Savannah shouldn't even have cared. But the thing is, Chase can't. He can't grab this guy. He did though, and he gets to be on Instant Edition. But we have Savannah too. I didn't know what to do. There's nothing you can do. It's a private text, like the title of my video says. You accidentally, in quotations, read someone else's private text message. You might read something, you know, you might not like what you read. I cannot believe Bob. I can't believe Chase. I don't know the name of the horrible guy who wrote that text, but anyway, and I'm not saying he's not slime. I'm saying that Chase, that passenger who came to the rescue of the damsel in distress in Savannah, okay, whose feelings were hurt. Feelings were hurt. John Rappaport and Betcavs and all them talk about Alex Jones, about snowflakes and whatnot, where everything is offensive. And alright, so her feelings were hurt by a total stranger's text to someone he knew that you know, he wants to vomit because he has to sit next to a smelly fatty. Yes, it's very offensive. It's a private text message. It's very offensive. Even if you want to say something to him, we'll call him Bob, okay? Even if you want to say something to him, saying something to him is not the same as grabbing him. You can't do that. It could have got ugly. It's not worth it. It could have got ugly. It could have started a fight. I mean, it's not like he was physically touching her. He wasn't accosting her. He wasn't even verbally being mean to her and derogatory towards her. It was in his own private text message to someone else who wasn't on the plane. Or who was on the plane. You never know, but still. Unreal. Unreal. I have to go to bed.